So my name is Joseph from Restaurant Evet. I'm now going to present my Jeju MasterChef recipe as part of the Jeju Food and Wine Festival. And what you're going to present is some lovely Jeju beef, which we're going to pair with vegetables cooked in Jeju soil. Let's begin. This is kind of the major part of the recipe, and it shows kind of a really cool technique that I wanted to show, which is taking the soil or the volcanic soil from Jeju, mixing it with sugar, salt, and egg, and then wrapping it in the seasonal ingredient. So the seasonal ingredient we're using today is the beetroot. So beetroot's from Jeju, which has been wrapped in that soil mixture. We then bake it at between 79 and 81, depending on the size of the beetroot. We wrap it and we cook it in our combination oven for around 45 minutes until it reaches that temperature. And what you get from that is really quickly the outside sets and the release of moisture from the beetroot goes out and nothing goes in. So you're left with a crisp texture in the beetroot. So that's inside there. It's been taken out. We allow it to cool. Yeah, and it has a real earthiness from it and a real minerality that you get from the soil in Jeju, especially because it's the volcanic soil. We really wanted to show that in this dish. So I'm going to crack it open now and show you what I'm talking about. So it gets a bit you have your beetroots. So they will be super tender. And what we'll do now is we'll peel them down, we'll slice them, and then that will be the covering component to the main dish. So the moisture is shrunken about 20%. What we do is we're going to take off this outside layer, which is the skin. We're just going to peel this down. So the flavor becomes super clean, and then you get the minerality from the soil, and it becomes really, really sweet as well. So we'll just get a couple slices here for the plate. And we want these slices super thin, so we can create a little bit of height. Okay, so now we're going to cook the snails, the bulham. We just want to get these nice and crispy for the dish here. So we're going to put these into quite a warm pan here, and we'll start to skittle a bit, as you can hear. Keep them moving around. I'm going to add to that some smoked butter. This is when we should start to see a little bit of action in the pan. So what we're trying to achieve here with the snails is a very crisp outside and a crack of garlic. Reacting with the thyme and garlic, you get lovely aromats. Just before we finish here, I'm going to hit it with some Jeju citrus. Take those out. There you have it, they're ready to go on the plate now. So we're going to start here. This dish is based on, when thinking about this dish, was based on the environment of Jeju. So we've taken the beetroots, we've cooked them in the soil, and they're going to make the major component here to complement the beef. But we're going to start from the base. So in the bowl here, we're going to line the inside with a snail puree. So bulmal, it's quite famous here in Jeju. So we're just going to line the bowl with that. So those snails have been blended in with a little bit of potato and a little bit of seasoning, but apart from that, that's it. So we're going to start with that. We're going to move in now with our Jeju beef. This is all going to be hidden underneath. The dish was designed to represent Halasan and the coastline. So we're going to start building this up. You have the volcano, you have these loads of different hills and landscapes, and I wanted to show that through the dish. So this beef, super, super tender. So all we've done is lightly grilled and a little bit of sea salt. Next, we're going to dress our beets, which have been baked in the volcanic soil. We're going to dress that in a citrus dressing. And citrus and beetroots are just one of those classic flavors. So we'll give that a little bit of a mix. There's a little bit of sugar. And then the rest of the flavor comes from the actual soil itself. As I build this up, I don't want it to make it too formed. It should be very, very natural. The whole design is based on the landscape. We're going to take the snails. So The first part of this component was the snails at the bottom. Just tucked underneath. And second last, I've just got some vibrant herbs. And then our last component here is our blood sauce. So we take the beef, the blood. So we try and use up everything in here. So we have the blood split with a little bit of the beetroot. And it's just gonna be at the bottom there. And that completes it. Super simple in flavor and texture, but something that showcases the whole island of Jeju in its landscape, in its soil, in its both land and sea. Enjoy. Here at the restaurant, we pair all our menu with Korean alcohols, and we thought it was very fitting to do the Jeju Food and Wine Festival chef recipe with Korean alcohol. So this is a lovely one that is from Jeju, which is the Hoboksul, and for me it's a great strong soju that goes really nice. Especially the beef and the snails, they pack a punch. Please enjoy at home, try something new, like and subscribe.